What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Straight Facts, a sports show that educates and entertains. Season 2, a brand new season, but the same show. And for the first time in a long time, coming to y'all from in person. Jake Galley, Kyle Sarek, Stat Matt Robinson. You know the guys, but it's funny because we got in here, like a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago or something, to get the lay of the land, and we just realized like this is the first time that they met in person.
That's crazy. That's actually the first time that I'm hearing about that, but that I guess makes sense, right?
Like Kyle started in the pandemic
during COVID, yeah.
Me and Matt had that weird couple episodes where we were in Delaware doing it in the studio with Fame.
When I was at school.
So Kyle was
this is my first time ever in the studio.
Like, that's crazy.
I've never done this.
To make it a good one then.
Of course. Y'all have heard Kyle for a long time, and it's the first time us being here. But you know how we do it. The same show, bringing you the facts, broken down in only ways that y'all can understand, and you take it to the water cooler. But we're starting this episode, it's season 2, so we're starting a little different. We're starting this episode with Speaking Facts first. We're bringing back an oldie, but a goodie. Y'all know Speaking Facts. We picked the most outrageous or maybe the best quotes that we've heard all week, and we're going to break it down for y'all. For the first one is Mike Tannenbaum on Get Up. And he said the New England is a real threat in the AFC East, and I think they will be up there with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills because of a smart offense and a much better defense. He's actually not the first person I heard to pump up the Patriots when they're not supposed to. Stephen A. also said that they're a top 5 threat to make the Super Bowl. So, Jake, I'll start with you. My guy, how crazy is Mike Tannenbaum as he's speaking facts?
I think it's only as crazy as you think it is that Mac Jones will win the Offensive Rookie of the Year. For them to have that type of success, Mac Jones needs to be that level of player. He's going to have to be I'm not going to say he has to be Brady-esque, but he has to be, Pro Bowl level, whatever, awards you want to hand out.
But that is their measuring stick up there. Like Brady is if you're below Brady, you're not good. If you're above Brady, I guess no one's above Brady. But if you meet that stature, that's what they're looking for, is it not?
And outside, the quarterback position is really what was holding them back. No hate to Cam Newton, but he was not the Cam Newton of old. He was not the Cam Newton that they needed him to be. And now I think you can run more of that Tom Brady kind of typical New England offense that we've seen that they're going to try and run this year.
But to say they'll be better is fine. To say that they'll make an improvement is fine. Why do we have to jump to AFC East contenders, Super Bowl contenders? Why do we have to do that? Kyle, it's Mike Tannenbaum.
That's the thing. I do like Mac Jones. Everything you said, it's going to make the offense better. We know what their defense is. It's great. But the problem is they're going to be up there with Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills.
That's the issue.
That's the quote that I got a problem with. That's why I'm going to say Mike Tannenbaum is not speaking facts. We're talking about the team that was in the AFC Championship last year and damn near was close to the Super Bowl. And Josh Allen is 26 now?
Right.
Going to get better. Stephon Diggs, top receiver in the league. I'm going to pump the brakes a little bit on the Patriots. If you watch the Big Board series, I did have the Dolphins ranked above them. That was before the Cam Newton cut. Maybe I would change that a little bit. But I'm going to say that he's not speaking facts because they're not up there with the Buffalo Bills.
That was my next point. Why are we leapfrogging Miami? Why are they all of a sudden better than Miami, who was a good team?
Miami went 10-6 last year, almost made the playoffs.
Exactly.
New England went 7-9. They had a lot of players miss last season because of COVID. They sat out. They spent $163 million in free agency this year. Belichick's going to work, and they'll get him to 9-8, and they'll be a distant third behind Miami and Buffalo.
They might
be better than Miami, but they're better than they were last year. But they're not going to threaten a 12-5 or 13-4, whatever Buffalo.
We're on the same page.
Yeah, well, here's what people can't compartmentalize about Bill Belichick and the Patriots. It's what we've only ever seen them bad or mediocre or the best team in the league. So people think if the Patriots get better, they're automatically the best team in the league. And there is a middle ground. I know New England has never existed in that middle ground, but there is a 10-6 and we lose in the wild card round. That. If Mike would have said that, I'd have been like, Mike, you got one.
Playoff team. 7 seed,
I'm
6
going to
seed.
make the wild card.
Yeah, and that's still a little spicy. And that's still a little spicy for you for the takes, but not that one. You want to talk about spicy takes, and that person I'm about to name is known for these spicy takes. Former First Take host now, Max Kellerman, on First Take, said Miami makes the most sense for Deshaun Watson. He's a superstar quarterback. They're a team that's ready to win. He can make them over the top. Let's throw the allegations out the window for the sake of this argument. We understand what Deshaun Watson is wrapped up in right now. If he does make his way out of Houston, gets cleared to play again, is Max Kellerman speaking facts? Is it the Miami Dolphins?
No, it is not. And it would have been the Miami Dolphins last year. It would be the Miami Dolphins next year. But year 2 for Tua Tagovailoa, you cannot, especially considering he never got a full training camp, you cannot give up on him yet because, as I've said ad nauseum, you cannot win with a quarterback making as much money as Deshaun Watson. No team has ever done it.
It's Deshaun.
There have been better quarterbacks than Deshaun Watson who have made that much money.
Tua not one of them.
Tua
not one of them.
But Tua, I think, is good enough the way that team is built. Like, you need, like, B-plus quarterback play to be able to be, like, a top 2 team.
And what does Deshaun give you? I'm not understanding.
If you put last year's Deshaun Watson, because we don't know how all this stuff will affect him mentally and stuff. But
sure.
We just put what he was last time we saw him play on the Dolphins. They are right there with the Bills.
They're what Mike Tannenbaum says about the Patriots, right?
They could win the Super Bowl. Like, they'd be that good. Miami and if you have a chance to be that good, if you just look at the talent of the player, then you throw Tua out for that.
100%.
If you're just looking at the talent aspect.
Before you go, Kyle, I don't think Max Kellerman's speaking facts when he says that it makes the most sense for him. I actually thought the team that made the most sense for him pre-draft was the 49ers before they decided to go and get Trey Lance. But it's kind of like the same constructed team, right? Like, good players outside of the quarterback, really good defense, and Deshaun puts them over the top. But Miami is still a very, very, very good destination. And I also think, like, with the head coaching turnover, I think like Brian Flores is establishing a good culture there, and he thrives on that. But Kyle, you're last.
Yeah.
Is Kellerman speaking facts?
So I do think he's speaking facts. I think your 49ers one would have been up there. A team I'm looking at also would be Washington, though, with Tannehill, another project, great defense, great weapons around it. But I think they are speaking facts. We mentioned already Miami's 10-6 last season. I mean, you take a guy like that, rookie Jalen Waddle, that's a weapon. Myles Gaskin had a great end of the year. That's another weapon. Devontae Parker, we know what the defense does. I mean, I think it does make the most sense. I'm not giving up on Tua. Like Jake said, year 2, rookie quarterback. You want to see what could happen in year 2. But if I got a shot to get Deshaun Watson with the weapons I got right around him, I'm going to go Deshaun.
You think it's a Super Bowl move until you trade for him, and he's out for 6 weeks.
That's why I said throw the allegations out the window, and I don't want to disrespect like any of the allegations. I'm just saying for the sake of the argument, assume he could play right away. Assume it gets clear, but he still wants out of Houston, and assume he can play right away or 2 or 3 games, whatever.
Best team.
Right. For me, it's like that makes it easier. I still have huge reservations about
he doesn't want to pay quarterback.
Cap hit. And also the assets that you have to give up to acquire him.
The only guy in the league don't want to pay a quarterback.
By the way, if we want to go back somewhere on tape, I said the Rams should never pay Jared Goff when he was a rookie, and you should just recycle your quarterback every time that they're up on their new deal, regardless.
Nick Sirianni guy, you want to be a quarterback factory.
Regardless of any of that. I just think it's 50-50 before all of the allegation stuff, and then including that, I just don't know how you trade for that guy.
I mean, I guess fair.
If you include the allegations, you can't touch him.
You can't touch him. That's why no one has right now. But like, if I get a chance to trade for Deshaun Watson with everything okay, you can throw year 2 out the window, and that's an absolute fact.
Oh, you like that one, huh?
Year 2.
Year 2. Matt, I'm coming to you on this last one, and this last one is a quote that a lot of people think, and Asante Samuel was just the one to say it. He tweeted about Bill Belichick, cold-blooded is an understatement. Without Brady, he is just another coach. Matt, is he speaking facts? That's just another coach.
That's asinine. Brady was a nobody in 2001 when they won the Super Bowl.
I forgot he's a Brady hater.
Brady was a nobody, and he missed the AFC title game because he got hurt, and it was Bledsoe came in. They didn't win the Super Bowl because they held the greatest show on turf to 17 points, and the offense scored 13 points.
Didn't they have to win games to get to that Super Bowl, though?
Yeah, the Tuck-Rule game where Brady fumbled the game away got brought up by the refs.
I forgot he's a Brady hater.
Brady got hurt in the AFC title game, so that was Bledsoe. And then in the Super Bowl, Brady threw for like 120 yards and a touchdown.
It's a Brady hater. You can't do nothing with a Brady hater, man.
I just want to, with this quote, put it through the lens of his father also played for Bill Belichick. And I'm a little young to like really know the ins and outs of that departure. He ended up on the Philadelphia Eagles, who I'm not going to call them a rival of the Patriots, but they had just played them in the Super Bowl a few years prior. Like, I'm going to assume there's some bad blood that fueled Asante Samuel Jr., who looks good, by the way, in preseason.
Mhm.
I'm going to say that was fueled a little bit by some family tension and ties
Maybe.
here.
He's also grown up. Like, he's not his father who grew up watching another quarterback. It's Asante Samuel Jr., who, much like us, has only seen one quarterback really dominate, like, the realm of football pretty much his entire life. So that's probably why he thinks that. Kyle, ASJ, what are you talking about, man?
Come
what are you
on,
talking
bro.
about?
Just another coach. Didn't he win the AFC East with Matt Castle at quarterback?
They missed the
Like-
playoffs, but they won 11-5.
Yeah, 11-5, right? Yeah.
But I mean, like that, like this man's resume speaks for itself. I mean, they went bad season last year, but they've had like Brady has gotten hurt a lot. Remember what they did with I'm blanking on the name, Colts quarterback Jacoby Brissett.
And Garoppolo.
Does Tom Brady get you Super Bowls? Yeah, Tom Brady got Bruce Arians a Super Bowl, but Belichick is just not another coach. I mean, he's the Greg Popovich of the NFL. It's the same role. I mean, hands down. I mean, it's the Hall of Famer we're talking about. Just another coach. He's been with one team for this long. Most guys would have been fired year 4.
In
I love
the
the great Popovich.
in the 2003 NFL playoffs, the Patriots played both MVPs because it was a dual MVP of McNair and Peyton Manning, and they held him to 1 touchdown pass and 5 interceptions.
Oh, you're still trying to take all of the
first
praise
two,
off of Brady
the
right
first
now. That's what you're
two
still trying
Super
to do.
Bowls that Belichick won were because of Bill Belichick.
And then the next
The
next
next
four?
four.
The next 4?
But 2 Super Bowls is not just another coach.
No, I agree. I personally don't think he's speaking facts, but I want to go back to your Greg Popovich point because I think that's a tremendous analogy. Like, they're very synonymous in sports right now, and they're both kind of going through the same thing,
Mhm.
right? Like, they both got an aging once was star thinking that maybe this will help us get into the playoffs, and it didn't work. DeMar DeRozan with the Spurs, Cam Newton with the Patriots, and like they're both coaches that everyone says like they're down right now, but at some point they're gonna rear their head again, and they're gonna be at the top of the NBA or top of the NFL, which is absolutely why Asante Samuel's not speaking facts, and he knows that. He knows that. You know who Bill Belichick is. If you paid attention to any of the seasons your pappy was on Bill Belichick's team, you know he's not another coach. Ask Jamie Collins if Bill Belichick is just another
Goes
coach.
to Cleveland.
Yeah,
Had to
just
find that out the hard way.
Yeah, just another coach.
And I also think, like, you mentioned Greg Popovich. I mentioned Steve Kerr. I mentioned the Warriors because when you look at how people talk about that team, Kevin Durant, it's easy for Kevin Durant to go there and win that ring. That he didn't do anything. Steve Kerr, he had all those great players. I mean, he didn't really do anything. Their GM drafted me. Oh, you got lucky. You picked Steph Curry and he becomes one of the best. Like, you could go down the list and say, because you're in this organization of greatness, you didn't do anything. It was the other people. But for those other people to be great, they have to rely on you to be equally great. Like, that's where I think kind of gets lost here with the Bill Belichick, Tom Brady thing. And we've even done it, chicken or the egg, who's the most deserving for all their success. Brady. It's hard. It's hard to separate them. Is my point.
It is, but it's fun to do because for me, when you have that argument, go down the rabbit hole a little bit. When you have that argument, here's why I settle on it. Bill Belichick lost Brady, and it is damn near impossible to find or get another Tom Brady. But I can take a scheme anywhere and get the right players to plug it into. And then that's exactly what Brady did. Brady took the scheme to Tampa Bay and said, you have a similar team as I did back there. We could do something with this scheme if you guys pay attention. And Bill Belichick is still trying to find who the next Tom Brady is that's going to be in his system. And maybe it's Mac Jones. But I can't call Bill Belichick just another head coach. I absolutely cannot do it. Sorry, ASJ. We got to get you out of here on that one. That wraps that up for Speaking Facts. It was a good one. Guys, pay attention all season 2 because as soon as dumb quotes fly or good quotes fly, we had 3 pretty crazy ones today. We'll get them out and we'll see just if they're speaking facts or not. Moving on now into the Facts Straight at You, which is normally at the top of our show, but we bring it on now.
Mix up.
Season 2.
Season 2, man.
Gotta switch it
Gotta
up.
keep them on their toes, man. They don't know what's going on. Facts Straight at You. The last 5 quarterbacks taken with the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft are combined 19, 41-2 in their first season. Baker Mayfield is actually the best at 6-7. Your boy, Jared Goff, Mr. Goof, was the worst at 0-7. This right now is a rookie report. We're going down the best draft picks, especially the quarterbacks. Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence, all named starters. Justin Fields and Trey Lance are backups. And it's simple. Who is winning the most games? And if you want to go Fields or Lance and you think you're going to get bold, that's fine. But we're really talking about Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence. Who's winning the most games?
Out of those three, the ones named starters so far, I'm going to go with, I guess, somewhat of a surprising answer in Trevor Lawrence. I think the Jaguars, and I got to say, I haven't been too enthused out of what I saw.
The way through is booty.
I'm going to go a little counterintuitive here. They didn't look great. Their offense looked actually pretty bad in the preseason. But I just think Urban Meyer combined with the weapons that they have, and this is the big one, the division that they're in, the Colts have an unvaccinated quarterback that could be out any given week. I also think that quarterback produced one of the worst, Mr. Carson Wentz, produced one of the worst single seasons a starting quarterback has ever had. It's
crazy how things change, don't it?
Imagine in February of 2018 telling Philadelphia that in 3 years they'd hate Ben Simmons and Carson Wentz.
Well, I would believe the Ben Simmons point.
Not during his rookie year.
We didn't get into the Ben Simmons thing, man.
But then you go on and you look at Tennessee, definitely the strongest the strongest player in that division, the strongest team in that division. And then you have probably the worst team in the league in the Texans, considering that Deshaun Watson doesn't play. That right there. Forget how I think Trevor Lawrence is going to perform, which I think he's going to perform well. They have a chance right there to be like a 9-8, 8-9 type team. And when you go down the list with Mac Jones, Zach Wilson, like, if I'm taking a shot, I'll go with the guy who I think is more talented. I think they're all going to be about the same. Those three guys are all going to be, their teams are going to be about the same, but I'll take Lawrence.
I'll wait to give mine because you bring up good
Andy
points.
Dalton's going to get benched after 2 games.
All right, so Matt, you go there. Elaborate on that.
Because the Bears made the playoffs last year. They were 8-8. They weren't that good, but they made the playoffs with Mitch Trubisky. They have a coach that really wants to keep his job in Ryan Day.
Yeah.
Matt
Nagy. Seems like he's fighting for it.
Ryan Pace is their GM. I don't know where Day came from.
Ryan Day, Justin Fields' college coach last year.
Oh, yeah, that's where it is.
So Matt Nagy, a guy who seems like he's fighting for his job on a week-to-week basis.
Yeah, so he's going to put Justin Fields in after they start like 0-2. Fields is going to be great in that system because they've been able to manage with Mitch Trubisky.
Hey.
Fields is going to go in. They're going to be a fringe playoff team. I just don't think I don't like Mac Jones as a player. I think the Jets are terrible, so Zach Wilson's going to have no shot. The Jaguars aren't good enough, and I think Fields gets like 7-8 wins, and that's enough.
All right, that's fair enough. I mean, the easy answer here is Mac Jones, right? Because we talked about the Patriots; they could have that upside. But I agree with Jake here. I think I am actually higher on Trevor Lawrence than he is. You said they're all going to be about the same. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to by far be the best rookie quarterback this year. The Jets suck. Zach Wilson's out of the picture. Lance probably won't play as much, and Fields has a shot. I like that answer. Justin Fields has a shot, but I think Trevor Lawrence too. I mean, this team was bad last year, but they got the pieces to really make a jump, a lot of young pieces. James Robinson was 22. DJ Chark's young. Laviska Shenault's young. The defense is getting there. I mean, Trevor Lawrence could be the one to move him over the top. Not sure what Urban Meyer has in play, but I'd go him. Mac Jones is probably the chalk answer, but I would go Trevor Lawrence.
Mac Jones probably is a chalk answer. I'm going to go the chalk answer, but
yeah.
I'm going to go the easy answer. I don't got as much pride as y'all got. I'm going the easy answer. But I have a question mark about Urban Meyer, man.
Yeah.
Like, you talk about –
that's fair.
You hit it on the head, Jake. Like, I wasn't too enthused about what I saw from Trevor Lawrence. I think a lot of that is because his head coach is still trying to figure stuff out right now. Like, this is not college. This is the NFL. And just as much as people are saying that to Trevor Lawrence, I think it reigns true as well for Urban Meyer. And that's the reason I'm going with Mac Jones. You want to talk about not just any coach, Bill Belichick. This is not just any organization in the Patriots. You know, Josh McDaniels is still there. Like, a good defense is still there.
Yep.
And then you go out and get guys like Jonnu Smith. You go out and get guys like Nelson Aguilar. Like, actual weapons that Brady hadn't had in the past few years to help your rookie quarterback. These are all rookies. Like, you need help around your rookie quarterback. There's a reason they go 19-41-2 in their first season, because when you get drafted to a bad team, there's nothing around you don't win until you start building that. But if Justin Fields was starting from week 1, I think he would be the easy answer, but he's not. I do kind of see the same thing with him that I saw when Baker Mayfield got drafted with the Browns, and Tyrod Taylor was still the starting quarterback, and everyone's like, okay, like I wonder when that's going to happen. Thursday Night Football, he does something to his leg. Baker comes in, and that's all she wrote. I think Justin Fields and Andy Dalton kind of have that same story where it's like, all right, you give Andy the nod for being the veteran statesman, getting the starting job, and then after that, like, at some point, Justin's going to come in and take the job. But, I got to go Mac Jones, man. Like, I really got to go Mac. It's the Patriot way.
It's like, it is a really difficult question when you start, because, like, none of us mentioned Trey Lance, mainly because I think he's going to get the starting job.
I think Garoppolo's going to play too long.
Yeah.
And it's the toughest division in football.
Let's just pretend here. Let's say he starts week 1.
Mm-hmm.
Does that change your thinking if Lance is
it doesn't.
Division's so tough.
It doesn't change my opinion, but the chalk answer then becomes Trey Lance. They are the favorites to win that division, by the way, in the NFC West. The 49ers are the favorites to win the NFC
West.
West.
4, by the way, on his big board.
Yeah. I don't see it, bro. I don't see it. But I think he would become the new chalk answer. But I wouldn't say Lance.
I'm not that high on Trey Lance. I was never that high on Trey Lance. You got to play more than 17, 18 games in college or something like that.
I like Trey Lance.
I like Trey Lance.
He won't play enough games.
Yeah, I think I'm there.
I don't see it.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
I like him a lot more than Mac Jones.
Okay.
And Zach Wilson.
Player.
You like him more than Mac Jones.
Zach Wilson, I'm down on Zach Wilson in general.
Same.
But yeah, I'd rank the quarterbacks Lawrence, Fields, then Trey Lance, then Wilson, then Jones.
I think Mac Jones has the best situation of any rookie quarterback by far. Like Mac Jones.
Trey Lance is the best situation.
He's not starting. How does he have the best situation?
Yeah, but
because he's getting groomed behind a guy who's really good at quarterback.
They picked him there. He's gonna start. They picked him to play. I mean,
years ago, you don't trade up to 3 to not
that's the thing.
Get a guy to play. But like Mac Jones is the starter, and Mac Jones is in a spot. If all you got to do is just listen and pay attention, and he's gonna have a successful year. He might not have the best stats of these quarterbacks, but he might have the best record. He might go the farthest. Like he's in New England, man.
Yeah, and it is always interesting to me, like, what is better for a quarterback? You mentioned, like, oh, well, he's in a better situation because he's going to get groomed. And you could also make the case that the guy getting the snaps and getting the real reps is going to be better off for it. So this will be a good case study, I think, for sure.
Another case study is how the Bayou Bengal boys are going to do in Cincinnati. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are back reunited with Cincinnati. But I see in the script here, he already shaking his head, worried about Jamar Chase. Who here is worried about Jamar Chase?
Me.
You're worried about Jamar Chase.
I've seen it happen before. I've seen what's going on here, folks. Happen before in person. We have a Markelle Fultz situation. Hit the buzzer.
There it is.
It's a Markelle Fultz situation going on.
26-30.
You should read the articles going on about Jamar Chase in practice, in preseason. The guy can't catch the ball.
It did take you 26 minutes to bring up the Sixers.
The guy can't catch the ball. Like, it's as if, like, I think it was, I can't remember if it was Pro Football Talk, detailed one of the practices. There was like 5 straight reps in a row. They're throwing slants, they're throwing go routes, and he's dropping everything to the point where, like, he's standing on the sideline with his head down, towel over his head. Like, that can't be my, like, alpha male wide receiver 1. That just can't be. And he took a year off from football. I don't know a ton of guys who take a year off from football and then come back as a top 10 pick.
Mm-hmm.
He was one of the first. I mean, he did it. And I guess we're going to have to see. We're going to have to wait and see here if it's a Markelle Fultz situation. But I am, like alarm lights going off on Jamar Chase.
What's worse, forgetting how to shoot or forgetting how your hands work? Like forgetting how to catch.
I'm just very happy that the Eagles didn't get him because I really liked him. And if these reports happen in the Eagles training camp, every Eagles fan would be panicking, like, "Oh my God, we got another player who can't catch, another one who can't catch."
We would ruin his career right
away. If I was a Bengals fan, I'd be flipping out, nervous. But he has his quarterback with him.
Nope.
They don't need to win right away, so he can have his rookie struggles. Long term, I think he'll be okay because of where he is and who he's with. But if he was in like a high pressure situation where he has to win now, I'd be really worried.
Yeah, I'm not worried at all. I mean, I think Devontae Smith was the better pick, right? I think he's going to have the better career than Jamar Chase. And I said this before the draft, before the Eagles got him. I know you're looking at me like something crazy.
Of course.
Looking at me like something crazy. But this is the thing. Matt said it, bad team, not even expected to win. But he also gets bailed out around him. They have T. Higgins. Mm-hmm. They have Tyler Boyd. Right? I mean, there's so many things here that it's just like, I think he can even take his time to get there. I'm not worried about 4 drops in preseason games.
So he gets bailed out. That's awesome. That's why he's not going to be in a and you're right. He's not in a situation where he has to succeed because other people. You know who isn't going to get bailed out now because of the pick of Jamar Chase? His buddy Joe Burrow, who is likely going to.
Yeah.
They did try and make some improvements in the offseason to their offensive line, but
should have taken Sewell.
They definitely should have taken the tackle there.
Should have taken Penny Sewell, man.
We'll talk about biggest mistakes, but man, if I'm a Bengals fan, I would be massively worried.
I think you guys are projecting what a Philadelphia Eagles fan mindset would be if you guys were a Cincinnati Bengals fan. Because you guys laid out every point as to why they shouldn't be worried, and then are telling me that you're worried about.
I'm not worried.
Chase.
I think he's worried. I'm not worried.
Maybe it's just you, man. Maybe it's just you projecting.
I've been scar tissue, guys. I've seen this.
I mean, it's
in multiple sports here.
I mean, a holy long walk for a short drink of water.
But you also have to take in the fact that these things happen 2 times more in Philadelphia than anywhere else.
This is true. I didn't put it on the Philadelphia
other teams kind of bail out.
It also is Philadelphia, Cincinnati. Who cares? You know what I mean? When stuff happens in Philly, it's big.
You're going to hit the Bengals with a who cares? Not who dey. Who cares?
Who dey? For real, man. All right. So we talked about the mistake that the Bengals made. We think they made picking Jamar Chase over Penny Sewell.
Yeah.
Was that the biggest mistake in this year's draft?
No.
What was the biggest mistake? I know your answer. You've told me before many times. I think I know your answer.
You might have the same answer as me. It's the only one I've actually been vocal on, and it's even amplified now that this guy's not even going to get to play all year, and that's the Jaguars picking Travis Etienne in the first round. We have James Robinson. First of all, second worst team in football last year. A lot of other things addressed than the running back position.
Urban.
When you had the 6th leading rusher last year. Rookie running back, by the way. And he's like, let me get another rookie running back. Let me get that. Not everything else that's wrong with my team. I think that's the biggest mistake. And now Travis Etienne's not even going to play this year. So we won't even find out for another year.
You lost that pick.
James Robinson was 22, rookie, 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns, 6th leading rusher in the league. What are you doing?
Making less than $1 million. It literally so he makes $780,000. James Robinson does as an undrafted free agent. You bring in now what was he, 22, 24 overall?
Yeah,
what
was
he?
one of the oldest
around there.
In the draft, yeah.
Well, just in terms
of
where
the pick. Yeah, his mid-20s.
It literally is like the SpongeBob meme of all right, now let him have it. They did everything. Yes, we've got our undrafted free agent running back. Yeah. He's really good. Okay, now pick one in the first round and erase all of that. I just don't get it.
Yeah, we're the worst team in football.
It had to have been Urban kind of outsmarting himself, and Urban might not even be the one picking, but you gotta assume he's in the room of outsmarting himself and thinking oh my God, we have the best college quarterback. Why don't we go get his running back who they teamed up to win a national championship together? This will do it. That's part of the reason why I'm not high on Trevor Lawrence and thinking about the adjustments Urban Meyer's got to make, because it's not college, man. It don't run like that. You do not take every person.
I'm low on Urban.
I'm low on Urban. Every Joe Schmo who does fantasy football can tell you don't do that. Every Joe Schmo can tell you that, right? Like that's just not something you do. It's so many other things when you're the worst team in football. So many other things you need to address. You got the Trevor Lawrence pick right. It was softball to you. Mm-hmm. But I absolutely think that Travis Etienne at the end of the first round was just above and beyond the worst pick. Matt, you didn't win. Is that the worst? Biggest mistake of the draft?
The Broncos passing up on Justin Fields is going to come back to haunt him.
Even with Teddy Two Gloves now?
I don't know.
Even with Teddy Twos?
But Surtain was such a good pick there.
I know Surtain's great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think the Eagles are going to regret not taking Justin Fields. I love Devontae Smith. It's not a knock on Devontae Smith.
It's a knock on Jalen Hurts?
It is a knock on Jalen Hurts.
I think it is love.
I'm not high on Jalen Hurts.
I'm not high on Jalen Hurts.
Y'all can get into a Jalen Hurts battle if you want to, because I would love that. I would love that, actually.
I think he's he'll Jacoby Brissett.
Oh, that's a ceiling?
That's what I expect him to be.
Oh, that's not bad. If first year started, you can Jacoby.
No, I'm talking about that's his career.
That's the ceiling. That's bad. That's the ceiling.
That's what I think is.
That's not what we want out the ceiling.
For sake of saving this argument for another segment,
I'm very high on Justin Fields. Is my
next
point.
Week, we will have this conversation.
You had a shot to take who I think is the second best quarterback in the draft at 9, in the Broncos case, or if you're even the Panthers taking J.C. Horn, they could have instead of Darnold.
You know why they didn't pick him, right? They can't pick a guy who's not above 6'5", big, oafish white dude. You're not allowed to be the Broncos quarterback. Granted, now they have Teddy Bridgewater in there.
And Drew Lock's like 5'10".
Yeah. I guess he does lack on the height. He's not the Brock Osweiler prototype that was promised to John Elway. So
Justin Fields is going to be a multiple-time Pro Bowler, and the Broncos will be kicking themselves for it.
Man, it disgusts me that you have this much faith in a guy,
Patrick
but
Surtain
won't say
could
the same
also
stuff
be a
about
multiple-
Jalen Hurts. We're gonna have to get into this.
Well, Patrick Surtain could also be a multiple time.
I think that's a great pick.
Quarterback is more important than a corner.
But they went out and got us a starting level quarterback.
Yeah.
If they didn't fill the hole,
that's a good way to describe Teddy Bridgewater.
I expect a starting level. I said starting level now. A starting level quarterback. And then, so if they didn't fill that hole, then I'd be with you. But if
you're trying to win championships, you draft.
The Broncos aren't in
Justin
championship
Fields.
window yet.
No, but Justin Fields. It's in his third year. It's a championship window player.
I see it. I'm high on Justin Fields too. I still think the ETN pick's worse though.
It's got to be worse.
It's got to be worse.
I just think the late first round you can screw up. It won't kill you.
I guess because now they're back. Now they're back to where they started, right? Like they're back to James Robinson now.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah,
something else.
But they lost a first round pick, man. You're not supposed to lose first round picks like that. Not people lose their jobs over that. All right, real quick, offensive rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year. Kyle, who wins those awards?
Offensive rookie of the year, Trevor Lawrence. I have no doubt in my mind he's gonna, he gets hurt, but obviously I think it's gonna look a lot like the Burrow situations where this guy is by week 7 running away with it, and he'll play the whole season. Defense rookie of the year, I'm actually gonna go with Surtain. We just talked about him. A lot of things coming out from the Broncos camp that they're gonna move him around. He's gonna cover tight ends when needed. They're in the same conference as Darren Waller and Travis Kelce. He's gonna play corner. He's going to play linebacker. This could be a dude that has 4 interceptions and like 5 sacks. I mean, he's going to have all these different opportunities and all these different spots. Rookie of the year is kind of a stat sheet lighter upper. I'm high on the Broncos. If they have a good year and Surtain has, 5-6 picks, he could be defensive player of the year, no doubt.
I was kind of shocked you went of a defensive back, a cornerback to win defensive rookie of the year. Because, to me, a rookie defensive back is make or break. They're going at you. When you play good teams, they will go at you. You pay Patrick Mahomes twice. He will.
And Justin Herbert.
They will go at you.
Yeah, but if you get a nice pick on Mahomes.
That's what I mean. It's high risk, high reward. You play the Chiefs, and you're either going to get torched or you're going to make a name for
shut down
yourself.
Kelce. They said he's going to
face the Chiefs. What do you expect?
But here's what shut down Kelce. Here's what we set unrealistic expectations.
No, it's just if you do, and as Matt said, if you don't, it's Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes.
You could either shut them down or you're reading taillights of Tyreek Hill
no
the
doubt,
entire time.
No doubt.
That's tough, but I don't mind it. Matt.
Justin Fields, offensive rookie.
Shocker.
Patrick Surtain, defensive rookie.
After what you just said, Justin Fields better win MVP.
But he said Surtain too.
He said Surtain too.
I have nothing against Surtain, just like I have nothing against Devontae Smith.
Okay.
So you
quarterbacks
think
are that important?
Okay, come on.
So they didn't get the one rookie of the year. They're just going to get the other one with their pick, and that was the biggest mistake.
That's what I was going to say. How's it the biggest mistake in the game rookie of the year?
I get it.
Carter Williams,
you're
rookie
right.
of the year, and
you're right.
That hurt you too? Did FCW hurt you?
Honestly, it's not even a hurt piece anymore. It's so far gone.
You've been hurt way more times than that.
Exactly.
If you miss out on a shot to have a championship level quarterback, that's a huge mistake. And I think the Broncos did that.
Fair enough.
But they make up for it by getting the defensive rookie.
Anyone can have a great.
Yeah,
corner.
I mean,
you can have a great corner and be like 7-9.
Right. We've seen the best cornerback in the league be on the worst team.
Darius Slay was on the Lions.
Right.
Prime of his
literally
career.
was my reference.
Jalen Ramsey was on the Jags. I mean,
it
happens all the time.
Happens. Jake.
So here, let's do some more mental gymnastics because I said
keep easy.
I said Trevor Lawrence was going to be the best record out of the 3 quarterbacks.
I did notice this.
And being the fact that he is the number 1 pick, you would think that would mean that he is going to also be the offensive rookie of the year. I'm also I am high on Zach Wilson in the situations that I think he's going to be in. I don't think it's going to. At least with this reasoning, he's my offensive rookie of the year. He's who I have down. I don't know how many wins it's going to lead to, but I do think the mix of Eli Moore, who has gotten rave reviews in camps, Corey Davis, Jamison Crowder, that's not the flashiest, But I do think that that's a wide receiver core you can put up numbers with. And if you're losing in a lot of games, or if you're not in a lot of close games, he's going to be throwing the ball a ton. So that's the gymnastics that, if you guys will be so gracious, I'm going to stick the landing on that.
But when they go 2-15,
he's going to get pummeled each game.
But when they go 2-15, but he had like decent stats, you can't give it to him.
So then, I guess in the head, we'll go Zach Wilson, Hart, Trevor Lawrence, or maybe flipped.
I think flipped. I think
you're going flipped. Yeah.
Okay, we'll flip that, and then I'm going to go Michael Parsons, the local kid.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, a Dallas Cowboy, but you want to talk about a guy who can do it all. He's the ultimate. He's like your prototypical like linebacker athlete demeanor as well, and incredibly like mean-spirited type player when you watch him play. And he's on Dallas, who is going to be putting up a ton of points, meaning he'll have a ton of chances to rush the quarterback, pick off the quarterback, make big hits in the open field with people coming across. Like, he's just, I think on Dallas, he has a great chance. Another guy who was picked very high in the draft to show out on America's team, quote unquote. So that's my pick.
If I'm picking a non-quarterback for offensive rookie of the year, I'm picking Kyle Pitts.
Literally took the words right out of my mouth. And I'm mad that offensive rookie of the year, MVP, whatever, offensive player of the year too, is such a quarterback dominated award. I guess I get it. They're going to accumulate the most stats of any offensive player. But I really want to go Kyle Pitts.
Because I trust the quarterback throwing him the ball.
I don't trust the quarterback throwing him the ball. There's also a reason why I would shy away from it. But that's neither here nor there because he's not going to win it. I'm going to go Justin Fields too. I do think that he won't start, but I kind of agree with Matt that I don't think it's going to be long before he gets the starting job. And much like Justin Herbert this past season, I think the onslaught comes late. I think, maybe he comes in week 3 or 4, maybe takes him a couple weeks, and I think as soon as he gets it down and he gets in rhythm, like I think it's going to be like it's going to look very good, very well, and he's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. And then I'm going to agree with you, Jake, for Defensive Rookie of the Year and go Micah Parsons. Everyone says that he was probably the best football player in this draft. Just absolute freak of nature. He was making plays in the preseason too. And like I do like the situation that he's in with Dallas. Dallas uses their linebackers a lot, all over the field.
That's what I wanted to say.
All over the field. I mean, we saw it with Jalen Smith, with Leighton Vander Esch, Sean Lean, and everybody above. He's going to be in so many situations. Like you talk about the situations he's going to have to rush the quarterback, pick the ball off, run all over the field. He's going to do that all in one series probably. Like he's going to, and he's such an athlete that he's probably going to dominate at every one of the positions that he's put in. So I'm going to go Micah Parsons, shout out the local kid. If I could go 2 PA kids, 2 Philly area kids, I'd go Kyle Pitts and Micah Parsons. But I think something crazy, goes down if Kyle Pitts, win the Offensive Rookie of the Year. But you agree with the Micah Parsons pick?
I mean, I like Surtain more. I'm just really high on the Broncos team. I think they're going to do something. But I think Michael Parsons is probably the best bet here.
All right. Speaking of best bets.
Oh,
you see how I did that right there?
You see how I teed that up?
Yeah, you teed that off the board. Kyle went off the board. Speaking of best bets, we're introducing a new segment right here because I have 3 degenerate gamblers who I can't get away from. This one in particular to my right. So we're going to go into something we call Fantasyland. I'm going to tee up or ask you guys, throughout the course of this season, your best bets when it comes to NFL, NBA, for your degenerates over here, the MLB probably too as well, college football, whatever you can get your little hands on.
I'm a degenerate. It really doesn't matter.
Whatever you can get your little hands on. But I need y'all to find the 3 bets you'd make for this upcoming season. Whoever wants to go first.
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
Man, my first one's going to be the Eagles plus 500 to win. Don't walk away. To win the NFC East. And why am I making this pick? It's a value. You're getting 5-1 on a team that's coming off of a horrible season and lost the division by 2.5 games. I think we're going to see another. We're going to see another NFC beast. I'm going to take it 5-1. I'm going to take it 5-1. Whoever wins this division is not going to have more than 10 wins. Don't be surprised if it's 9. And the Eagles, who knows? They can make some noise. 5-1, I think it's great value. Is it going to hit? I don't know, but you get a plus 500 future. I'll take it.
You're really going to have to dodge Washington. Like Dallas, I think.
But Washington, hold on, Washington has the hardest schedule in the whole conference. Where we drew the Lions, they drew the Packers, right? I mean, like, there's a lot of games on that schedule that we just are so much easier than Washington.
I can respect that, and I think with Dallas, you have an easy out of, like, Dak is like there was reports Dak's never going to be 100% this year with his shoulder thing.
Yeah.
If that's the case, that could be if he has to loot
Yeah, you can chalk it up. You can chalk it up.
You could take them out.
Yeah. Mike McCarthy's their coach.
New York has Daniel Jones as the quarterback. You could take them out. And
it's the 5-1 value.
So really, how many times are they better?
Don't do this to yourselves.
Are they better than Washington 20% of the time?
Don't do this to yourselves.
They need to be better than Washington 20, and I think you could make the argument.
You're at a very slippery slope. Both of y'all are.
I rock it jersey. I came here ready.
It went from why would you take the bet, and now you're just talking about the Eagles with the NFC. So now that's all that it is.
I feel like at this time it'd be appropriate for me to reveal. I've already bet the Eagles to make the playoffs, a large sum of money on them. To make
the playoffs or win the NFC
East. Sir.
Just to make the playoffs.
I did NFC East.
Sir.
Just take the value. We're not getting a wild card.
You, sir, have no one to blame but yourself. Because I may hear, next to Sarah, may hear you complain about the Eagles being bad more than anybody in the world. And you have no one to complain about or no one to blame but yourself.
Luckily,
you know better.
I've done a Simone Biles mental routine to where Jalen Hurts is actually a top 5 quarterback this year.
He is.
Lord!
I just think I can see the value that Kyle is trying to play, and it really comes down to what do you think about Jalen?
Yeah,
Hurts?
he has already. We put it down.
I bet it.
Pay out $300.
50 to win 300. We're in.
Pay out to win 300.
Boom.
We're in.
Okay, I like
just,
that one.
Just like that. Give me your other
Number one rule of gambling is never bet on your favorite.
Yeah, they break that all the time.
All the time.
Give me your other 2 bets. Kyle.
Oh, me? I thought you were moving the mat. Next up, we'll go quick. 49ers to miss the playoffs. If you want to hear me talk about the 49ers, that's on the video. That's on our NFC West Big Board video.
Good plug.
I mean,
go check out the YouTube.
It's plus 175 for them to miss the playoffs. They're the favorites in the NFC West. I don't think they should be, and we know how hard the conference is. I think one team will get left out. I think it will be them. And the last one, who I've also been talking about, is the Broncos over 8.5 wins. This is just where they're at. It's like, are they going to be above 500? They're going to be below 500. I think they could easily be the second best team. Obviously, they're in the conference or the division with the Chiefs, so no one's going to win that. But I think they could easily be the second best team, pull out 9-10 wins. I think the line was set right, but I'm high on the Broncos, so I'll roll with it.
I do think number 2 in that division is absolutely up for grabs. It's wide open. And I like this because this is very congruent to everything you've been saying. Like, this is a nice little
I keep it
wrapped up
fluid.
in a nice little summary of everything that Colin's been saying. You got to keep it fluid, man.
On brand.
I don't know if I want to hear your bets, but go ahead, Jay.
These are winners, bro.
It's like, I don't want to hear
straight locks.
Go ahead.
The first one is actually one I'm really excited about. They're offering on DraftKings for the first time fastest ball carrier.
Such a weird bet.
It is a weird bet, but luckily it is a bet that I think we've got a great angle on. The last 3 years, the fastest ball carrier has been a 49er running back. I believe 2 of those years it was Raheem Mostert.
Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Raheem Mostert is once again going into the year as a tandem back. He might eventually get overtaken by Trey Sermon, but in the first couple weeks they're going to lean heavily on him. And the fact that it was 3 San Fran backs in the row speaks to their offense.
What does fastest ball carrier mean? Just speed?
Like from handoff to.
I think top speed.
Point?
So the fastest point that they get going. So I think Tyreek Hill, Jonathan Taylor, those guys were up there. 22.
Tyreek Hill counts.
So it's not.
If you give him a reverse,
it's literal
they
carrier
of
the football, like not running back, like literal carrier.
Correct, carrier of the football.
So Lamar
Does
Jackson,
it have to be a
Lamar
run
Jackson
play?
could be in this.
It doesn't have to be a run play. Lamar Jackson could be in there.
That's not a good bet.
Sweeping runs. So he's the second favorite. He's tied with Tyreek Hill. He's the second favorite, and I think like the offensive game style. Like when you look at what type plays generate these like the fastest carriers, it's always these bending runs to the outside that you're able to turn up. What you have to hope is in the first couple weeks, Raheem Mostert hits one of those. It's, again, we talk about value here. It's 6.5 to 1. I mean, it's plus 650.
Yeah, I just think so many guys are going to touch the ball.
But Tyreek Hill rarely hits his top speed with the ball. Tyreek Hill hits his top speed when he doesn't have
He's slowing down to catch the ball, and then when he catches the ball, he only has 30-some yards to go.
Right.
It's just difficult. It's easier for a running back.
They do like screens to him too.
Tyreek Hill has been in the league the last 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, most of his guys.
And it's been a San Fran running back. So that's number one. And what is I didn't read Kyle's. This is actually really funny. I have the Rams to win the NFC.
The whole conference.
At plus 650. I know that you had mentioned they're in a really, really tough division. So
What's wrong with
this would what?
What's wrong with y'all? I guess
So
the Rams
that would-
winning the NFC is not
That
too
that
crazy.
would allude to the fact that they're going to kind of be drugged through the mud and have to go through a lot of competition to get to that point.
Yeah.
A lot of people, a lot of the really smart people around the league that I read these articles. A lot of them say that this is the boom or bust roster of the NFL. The Rams.
Are we talking make the Super Bowl or best regular season record?
To win the NFC.
So
Like,
in the
to
playoffs, though.
To be the
It's
NFC
not- yeah.
representative.
In the
Yeah,
Super
I don't hate
Bowl.
that.
So I just think that when you put Matt Stafford on that offense, they've been known for their defense in the past couple of years. You have Aaron Donald, you have Jalen Ramsey, you've got some huge names. They have not a ton of depth, and that's what people will throw in your face when you bring them up. But for everyone saying, oh, but what if they're injured? But what if they're not?
Mhm.
If they're not, you're getting, honestly, a top 4 team, in my opinion, in the NFL. So you look at those factors, you have plus 650 again for them to do that. I like it. And then the last one here, our guy Naji Harris, first-round running back. You got to get some use out of the first. If you're going to pick a running back in the first round, you better make sure that he makes you look good. And I think he's going to do that for the Steelers. Over 7.5 touchdowns. You look at Le'Veon Bell. You look at James Conner. Their best years with Pittsburgh, they're going over 7.5. I think Najee is an even more dynamic threat on the ground than those two are, which is saying a lot at their peak. So those are my bets. It's minus 125, so there's a little bit of juice on the over. But
yeah.
I like him, man.
James Conner had 12 in 2018, right? And
Exactly.
almost did it the year after, got hurt after 10 games. So, I mean, I like it.
Yeah, my best bet is Packers have the 1 seed at 8-1. I don't know why that's 8-1. That's absurd that it's 8-1.
Yeah, wait, that's actually like the
Is
one
that free
the one
Rodgers?
The
seed.
1 seed. I got the
Oh, it's
slip
right
right
now.
here to prove it's true.
Hey, the slip.
Show it to
Wow.
the camera, man. Show it to
I didn't bet it yet. I will.
What sports book is that?
Bovada.
the
I'm sure.
Overseas.
Yeah, I was going to say. I'm sure you've heard of it. I'm sure you know it.
Yeah, so they were the 1 seed last year. The 8-1 is just unbelievable value. It's that simple. Colts have missed the playoffs at plus 160. I feel like they were worse than their record last year at 11-5, and they downgraded at quarterback. So plus 160, I like that to miss the playoffs. Especially, I think the AFC has a lot of teams that are better than them.
I gotta stop you right there. I can't see him missing the playoffs. I understand you're hurt. I understand you don't like. I understand you don't like Carson. If this was to not win the NFC South or AFC South, I got you. I don't see the Colts missing the playoffs.
I got them 9-8.
He did his whole simulation.
He did the whole simulation.
He picked every game of the year.
I got them 9-8. So my 7 AFC playoff teams. I'll go quick. Baltimore, Buffalo, Kansas City, Tennessee are my division winners. Wild cards are Pittsburgh, Miami, and Cleveland.
Pittsburgh and Miami, you got over the Colts.
Yeah, I got them 10-7. Colts.
I like
9-8.
Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh was one of the teams I was considering betting for worst record. So that's intriguing.
great. That would be a crazy
It
bet.
hasn't been the playoffs.
Yeah, it's intriguing that you have them winning that division.
I didn't think about the Steelers that much. So I kind of went through the motions. I'm not. That's what.
He just saw Steelers.
Yeah,
That'd be a wild
yeah,
card.
yeah.
That's
gotta
it,
know.
right?
I'm not-
They're usually above 500.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin's
They're
never gone under
always
500.
always
Yeah,
above 500. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and my last one is George Criddle over 1,050.5 receiving yards. I feel like this is just hedging on his health. He had over that number the previous 2 years before his last year. Last year he was on pace for 1,200 before he got injured. As long as he stays healthy, he'll hit that over easily.
I would agree.
I absolutely can't disagree with the George Kittle one.
I think Ayuk's going to get more targets this year, though.
Then Kittle
No, just more than last year. Like takes away targets to
Interesting.
Kittle.
I don't.
And
Yeah,
remember, there's an extra game.
I really
Extra game though. Facts.
Even still, with a healthy, if Debo's healthy all year, it's just tough. It's I guess.
Just for the bet though, like having that extra game, even if he has 50 yards in that game,
Right,
like
I don't
it's
mind.
still
I
good.
really
yeah.
like Ayuk is one of actually my favorite like young receivers in the league. He should be up there, or will soon be up there with AJ Brown in my opinion. But yeah, I don't mind that bet.
Word. All right, we got all our bets in.
Got all
You,
the
you
bets
joining or no?
Nah, I'm
Nothing?
gonna leave the bet in New
Tampa
York.
Bay Buccaneers to win the Super Bowl.
That's
That's
stamped
James's
down.
bet every year.
That's stamped down. Jake just got me to start doing fantasy football. So baby steps into this thing, man. Baby steps into fantasy. We're introducing a new segment right here because I have 3 degenerate gamblers who I can't get away from. This one in particular to my right. So we're going to go into something we call fantasy land. I'm going to tee up or ask you guys, throughout the course of this season, your best bets when it comes to NFL, NBA, for your degenerates over here, the MLB probably too as well, college football, whatever you can get your little hands on.
I'm a degenerate. It really doesn't matter.
Whatever you can get your little hands on. But I need y'all to find the 3 bets you'd make for this upcoming season. Whoever wants to go first.
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
Man, my first one's going to be the Eagles plus 500 to win. Don't walk away. To win the NFC East. And why am I making this pick? It's a value. You're getting 5-1 on a team that's coming off of a horrible season and lost the division by 2.5 games. I think we're going to see another. We're going to see another NFC beast. I'm going to take it 5-1. I'm going to take it 5-1. Whoever wins this division is not going to have more than 10 wins. Don't be surprised if it's 9. And the Eagles, who knows? They can make some noise. 5-1, I think it's great value. Is it going to hit? I don't know, but you get a plus 500 future, I'll take it.
You're really going to have to dodge Washington. Like Dallas, I think.
But Washington, hold on, Washington has the hardest schedule in the whole conference. Where we drew the Lions, they drew the Packers, right? I mean, like, there's a lot of games on that schedule that we just are so much easier than Washington.
I can respect that, and I think with Dallas, you have an easy out of, like, Dak is, like, there was reports Dak's never going to be 100% this year with his shoulder thing.
Yeah.
If that's the case, that could be if he has to loot like
you
leave
can
for any amount of time.
You can chalk it up.
You could take them out.
Yeah, Mike McCarthy's their coach.
New York has Daniel Jones as the quarterback. You could take them out, and
It's the 5-1 value.
so really, how many times are they better?
Don't do this to yourselves.
Are they better than Washington 20% of the time?
Don't do this to yourselves.
They need to be better than Washington 20, and I think you could make the argument.
You're at a very slippery slope. Both of y'all are.
I rock it
Because
jersey. I came here ready.
it went from why would you take the bet, and now you're just talking about the Eagles with the NFC East. So now that's all that it is.
I feel like at this time it'd be appropriate for me to reveal. I've already bet the Eagles to make the playoffs, a large sum of money on them. To make the playoffs.
Make the playoffs or win the NFC
You,
East.
sir.
Just to make the playoffs.
I did NFC East.
You,
Why would
sir.
Just take the value? We're not getting a wild card.
You, sir, have no one to blame but yourself. Because I may hear, next to Sarah, may hear you complain about the Eagles being bad more than anybody in the world. And you have no one to complain about or no one to blame but yourself.
Luckily,
you know better.
I've done a Simone Biles mental routine to where Jalen Hurts is actually a top 5 quarterback this year.
Oh, yeah. He is.
Oh, Lord.
I just think I can see the value that Kyle is trying to play, and it really comes down to what do you think about Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, he has already. We put it down.
I bet it.
Pay out 300.
50 to win 300. We're in.
Pay out to win 300.
Boom.
We're in.
Okay, I like
just,
that one.
Just like that. Give me your other
Number
two
one rule of gambling is never bet on your favorite.
Yeah, they break that all the time.
All the time.
Give me your other 2 bets. Kyle.
Oh, me? I thought you were moving the mat. Next up, we'll go quick. 49ers to miss the playoffs. If you want to hear me talk about the 49ers, that's on the video. That's on our NFC West Big Board video.
Good plug.
I mean,
go check out the YouTube.
It's plus 175 for them to miss the playoffs. They're the favorites in the NFC West. I don't think they should be. And we know how hard the conference is. I think one team will get left out. I think it will be them. And the last one, who I've also been talking about, is the Broncos over 8.5 wins. This is just where they're at. It's like, are they going to be above 500? Are they going to be below 500? I think they could easily be the second best team. Obviously, they're in the conference or the division with the Chiefs, so no one's going to win that. But I think they could easily be the second best team, pull out 9-10 wins. I think the line was set right, but I'm high on the Broncos, so I'll roll with it.
I do think number 2 in that division is absolutely up for grabs. It's wide open. And I like this because this is very congruent to everything you've been saying. Like, this is a nice little
I keep it
wrapped up
fluid.
in a nice little summary of everything that Colin's been saying. You got to keep it fluid, man.
On brand.
I don't know if I want to hear your bets, but go ahead, Jay.
These are winners, bro.
These are straight locks.
Go ahead.
The first one is actually one I'm really excited about. They're offering on DraftKings for the first time fastest ball carrier.
Such a weird bet.
It is a weird bet, but luckily it is a bet that I think we've got a great angle on. The last 3 years, the fastest ball carrier has been a 49er running back. I believe 2 of those years it was Raheem Mostert.
Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Raheem Mostert is once again going into the year as a tandem back. He might eventually get overtaken by Trey Sermon, but in the first couple weeks they're going to lean heavily on him. And the fact that it was 3 San Fran backs in the row speaks to their offense.
What does fastest ball carrier mean? Just speed?
Like from handoff to.
I think top speed.
Point?
So the fastest point that they get going. So I think Tyreek Hill, Jonathan Taylor, those guys were up there. like 22.
Tyreek Hill counts.
So it's not.
If you give him a reverse,
it's literal
they put him on
carrier
like a
of the
reverse,
football,
that's
not
like not running back, like literal carrier.
Correct,
of the
carrier of the
So
football.
Lamar
Does it have to
Jackson,
be a
Lamar
run
Jackson
play?
could be in this.
It doesn't have to be a run play.
I'm
Lamar
not
Jackson
betting
could
that.
be in there.
That's
So
not a good
sweeping-
bet.
Sweeping runs. So he's the second favorite. He's tied with Tyreek Hill. He's the second favorite, and I think like the offensive game style. Like when you look at what type plays generate these fast, like the fastest carriers, it's always these bending runs to the outside that you're able to turn up. What you have to hope is in the first couple weeks, Raheem Mostert hits one of those. It's again, we talk about value here. It's 6.5 to 1. I mean, it's plus 650.
Yeah, I just think so many guys are going to touch the ball.
But Tyreek Hill rarely hits his top speed with the ball. Tyreek Hill hits his top speed when he doesn't
Exactly,
have
he's
the
slowing
ball.
down to catch the ball, and then
Yeah.
when he catches the
You
ball, he
gotta
only
make
has
moves
30
and
some
stuff.
yards to go.
Right.
It's just difficult. It's easier for a running
You know they
back.
do like screens to him too. Like so.
Tyreek Hill has been in the
Right.
league the last 3 years.
Yeah,
He
remember
hasn't
most of his
done it.
guys.
Yeah.
And
They're
it's
saying he hasn't
been
done it.
a
To
be
San Fran
fair,
running
yeah,
back.
that's
So
fair.
that's number one. And what is so I didn't read Kyle's. This is actually really funny. I have the Rams to win the NFC. at
No, the
plus-
whole conference.
at plus 650. I know that you had mentioned they're in a really, really tough division. So
What's wrong with
this would what?
What's wrong with y'all? I guess
So
the Rams
that would-
winning the NFC is not
That
Too
that would
crazy.
allude to the fact that they're going to kind of be drugged through the mud and have to go through a lot of competition to get to that point.
Yeah.
A lot of people, a lot of the really smart people around the league that I read these articles. A lot of them say that this is the boom or bust
we
roster of the NFL. The Rams
Are we talking make the Super Bowl or best regular season record?
to win the NFC.
So
Like,
in the
to get-
To
playoffs,
be the-
though.
to
Okay,
be the
if
NFC
not- yeah.
representative.
In the
Yeah,
Super
I don't hate
Bowl.
that.
So I just think that when you put Matt Stafford on that offense, they've been known for their defense in the past couple of years. You have Aaron Donald, you have Jalen Ramsey, you've got some huge names. They have not a ton of depth, and that's what people will throw in your face when you bring them up. But for everyone saying, oh, but what if they're injured? But what if they're not?
Mhm.
If they're not, you're getting, honestly, a top 4 team, in my opinion, in the NFL. So you look at those factors, you have plus 650 again for them to do that. I like it. And then the last one here, our guy Naji Harris, first-round running back. You got to get some use out of the first. If you're going to pick a running back in the first round, you better make sure that he makes you look good. And I think he's going to do that for the Steelers. Over 7.5 touchdowns. You look at Le'Veon Bell. You look at James Conner. Their best years with Pittsburgh, they're going over 7.5. I think Najee is an even more dynamic threat on the ground than those two are, which is saying a lot at their peak. So those are my bets. It's minus 125, so there's a little bit of juice on the over. But
Yeah.
I like him, man.
James Conner had 12 in 2018, right? And
Exactly.
almost did it the year after, got hurt after 10 games. So, I mean, I like it.
Yeah, my best bet is Packers have the 1 seed at 8-1. I don't know why that's 8-1. That's absurd that it's 8-1.
Yeah, wait, that's actually like the
Is that
one
free
the one
Rodgers?
The
seed.
1 seed. I got the
Oh, it's
slip
right
right
now.
here to prove it's true.
He does slip.
Show it to
Wow.
the camera, man. Show it to
I didn't bet it yet. I will.
What sports book is that?
Bovada?
This is
I'm sure. I was
Overseas.
about to say. I'm sure you've heard of it. I'm sure you know it.
Yeah, so they were the 1 seed last year. The 8-1 is just like unbelievable value. It's that simple. Colts have missed the playoffs at plus 160. I feel like they were worse than their record last year at 11-5, and they downgraded at quarterback. So plus 160, I like that to miss the playoffs. Especially, I think the AFC has a lot of teams that are better than them.
I gotta stop you right there. I can't see him missing the playoffs. I understand you're hurt. I understand you don't like. I understand you don't like Carson. If this was to not win the NFC South or AFC South, I got you. I don't see the Colts missing the playoffs.
I got them 9-8.
He did his whole simulation.
He did the whole simulation.
He picked every game of the year.
I got them 9-8. So my 7 AFC playoff teams. I'll go quick. Baltimore, Buffalo, Kansas City, Tennessee are my division winners. Wild cards are Pittsburgh, Miami, and Cleveland.
Pittsburgh and Miami, you got over the Colts.
Yeah, I got them 10-7. Colts.
I like
9-8.
Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh was one of the teams I was considering betting for worst record. So that's intriguing.
great. That would be a
you,
crazy
It
bet.
hasn't been the playoffs.
Yeah, it's intriguing that you have them winning that division.
I didn't think about the Steelers that much. So I kind of went through the motions. I'm not. That's what.
He just saw Steelers.
Yeah,
That'd be a wild
yeah,
card.
yeah.
That's
gotta
it,
know.
right?
I'm not-
They're usually above 500.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin's
They're
never gone
always
under 500.
they're always
Yeah,
above 500. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and my last one is George Criddle over 1,050.5 receiving yards. I feel like this is just hedging on his health. he had over that number the previous 2 years before his last year. Last year he was on pace for 1,200 before he got injured. As long as he stays healthy, he'll hit that over easily.
Yeah, I would agree.
I absolutely can't disagree with the George Kittle one.
I think Ayuk's going to get more targets this year, though.
Than Kittle?
No, just more than last year. It takes away targets to Kittle.
I don't.
And remember, there's an extra game.
Extra game though. Facts.
Even still, with if Debo's healthy all year, it's just tough. It's I guess
just for the bet though, like having that extra game, even if he has 50 yards in that game,
right,
like,
I don't mind.
Still
I
good.
really like Ayuk is one of actually my favorite like young receivers in the league. He should be up there, or will soon be up there with AJ Brown in my opinion. But yeah, I don't mind that bet.
Let's go right into the countdown. We'll start with number 5.
The number of teams within 3.5 games of the NL wildcard spot. That's the Padres, the Reds, the Phillies, the Cardinals, and surprisingly the Mets, who have started to climb out of the basement and put themselves back in to the wildcard spot. We'll focus on one of these teams because we all have something in common here, and that is the headache that is the Philadelphia Phillies. I mean, the absolute headache that is the Philadelphia Phillies.
Yeah.
I've been off the wagon. I've been on it. I've cursed them out. I've wanted to hug them all in one season. It's been an absolute roller coaster ride, and we're still only a game and a half, 2 games out of the NL East spot, and I think even less of the wild card spot, which is absolutely amazing to me.
Yeah.
I think someone probably said it before him, but I'm going to say Pharrell Williams, for all intents and purposes, once said, "First, the truth will piss you off, and then it will set you free." And the truth is,
The Phillies really stink.
Yeah.
They're not a playoff team. And they're going to try and scrape together everything they can just to possibly get into the playoffs this year after being pathetic for the past decade-ish.
Yeah.
But tell me you won't be all the fuck in if they get to the playoffs.
I can't,
tell me you won't be all
what am I
in if
gonna
they get to
do?
the
They're a
playoffs.
Philly sports team.
Of course, man.
Of course, but it's just so painful that as Philly sports fans, we're oh, maybe they'll get in the playoffs, and then what? And then what happens when they get into the playoffs?
And then more pain.
I mean, look, I'll be rooting. I'm not going to root against them for them to get into the playoffs. I hope they do, but
They haven't had a winning record in 10 years
it's
either.
pathetic.
If they
It's
could go,
pathetic.
If
It
they
is.
could go 84-78, but miss the playoffs, it wouldn't be the end of the world because they don't deserve to make the
It's
playoffs.
the same thing to me. You might as well have a losing record. That's the same thing to me. This team, it was supposed to be constructed as a playoff team. Joe Girardi is a postseason manager. He's not a manager who has 3 straight seasons of missing the postseason. This is supposed to be the time. And Bryce Harper is getting MVP nods. Zach Wheeler is getting Cy Young nods. That all lends itself to supposed to being a playoff team. And
Can't pitch. When you can't pitch, your hitters. Baseball is a game of what do they say? Game of losing. It's how many times you don't lose.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't hit 300, you got to be able to pitch a little bit.
Every team
and no
wins
team
54 games. Every team loses 54 games.
Yeah.
That's what you do with the 54 games in between.
All right, we'll move on though to the countdown. We'll go to number 4.
So on this date in 1965, Sandy Koufax, member of the tribe, not the Cleveland Indians, he's Jewish.
The tribe.
He's Jewish. Becomes the first pitcher to throw 4 no-hitters, and that was when he threw a perfect game, on today's date against the Cubs. Sandy Koufax, and Kyle, I know you play MLB The Show.
I stopped, but I've played.
Very surprised he is not one of the pitchers that they've commemorated. Great. As I said, like I mentioned, he's Jewish. Not a ton of great Jewish athletes. So I really I don't have these idols.
I'm looking for one. Y'all gotta have
him and Ryan Braun are like the 2 that come to mind. Sean
George
Green.
Mikan going back in basketball.
Oh, you're gonna have to go way back for George Mikan. Dude's got some drills
The
named
first
after
ever
him.
basket ever scored in an NBA game was scored by a Jew. I learned that from Uncut Gems.
So
there you go.
Actually, I'll save that for at the buzzer. But regardless, Sandy Koufax, great pitcher. Also fills our number 4.
All right, we'll go to we'll go number 3.
The number of QBs in the top 10 of the Athletics top 100 players in NFL history, and that's Brady, Montana, and Manning. Order them. Brady, Montana, Manning. Order them.
You're gonna hate me. They're in order.
Brady,
order. Montana, Manning. They're in order.
I don't hate why.
They're in order.
He's gonna hate.
We already know he's gonna say.
He's gonna hate.
But those 3 are in order.
They're in order.
I've conceded the GOAT is Brady, but the boat is Manning.
Wow.
Matt.
Manning's better than Montana, though.
So this is top 100 players.
As in,
What's your
like,
1, 2, 3?
he's the boat.
Overall, my number one is Jerry Rice.
He's the
just
boat in the
three.
sense.
Just three.
Just quarterbacks?
Brady, Montana, Manning.
Best or greatest?
Matt, who's the number one quarterback of all time?
Top
I
100.
don't want to
top
play
player.
Harris here.
The
You're
best-
finding ways to put Peyton Manning one, and I don't
The
like
best
it.
quarterback ever is Peyton Manning. The greatest quarterback ever
What?
is Tom Brady.
What's the difference?
Longevity.
But
This is like the
how are
fourth
you
time
using
we've
longevity?
litigated
I know,
this
I know.
in the straight facts
Look,
history.
He keeps using longevity as like a bad thing against Brady. He's
No,
been
it's not.
great
No,
for
no.
this long.
No, his longevity is like the fact that he's this good at 42 is just like stupid.
So, but that is not enough to get him number one.
No, he's the
He's
greatest
number one.
ever.
He's number one, and Matt just can't say the
Can't
words he's
accept
number
it.
one. But understand, Matt means with the words he's saying
I
that
concede.
he's number one without saying.
I concede.
All right. Well, I think we're talking about greatest players again. We'll go to number 2.
Yeah, and this was an eyebrow raiser, both of them, when it happened. The two greatest players in modern soccer history both changed teams. This transfer window, Lionel Messi to PSG, James shaking his head over there, very sad moment. Cristiano Ronaldo to Man U. I can't tell if I love or hate the fact that soccer players change teams so frequently. It would be like if every LeBron James level player
Well,
in
this
the
is
NBA.
Messi's first ever move.
This is Messi's first move.
This is Messi's first move.
Ronaldo's,
This is
though.
Ronaldo's like what?
4th.
Ronaldo started at some Portuguese team, then went to Man U, then went to Real Madrid, then went to Juventus, and now it's back.
Nah,
here.
but
So-
there's a Stanton Inter in there somewhere, right? Or AC, one of the
No.
Milans. No,
He
I
went to
thought that was-
Juventus in that league.
I thought before.
So, and it's different too because these players, it's not like, oh, LeBron's going from an Eastern Conference team to a Western Conference team. It's like, oh man, Lionel Messi's going. Good thing I don't have to play that guy aside from like one time a year.
Right.
Like,
yeah. You switch
I don't know.
whole
Like
leagues.
it's just exactly. It's
the
just
French
a little
league
weird.
is the 6th best league in Europe.
Yeah, it's not good. Yeah, it's not.
That's what
even
I'm
good.
saying. Like I don't know if I can bang with that. I think I lean towards hate it versus love it.
I mean, like, I saw the Messi move coming for a long time.
He tried to get out last
Barca
transfer
fucked
window.
up
Yeah.
their
Yeah,
finances.
it was
That's
that
what
he didn't
happened.
want to leave, but it was like they couldn't afford him anymore. Like he literally like
They made
they got forced to let
their
him
wages were like 110% of their
go.
revenue.
Yeah, like they
It
were
was
absolutely
bad.
forced to let him go. Hey, you think Messi's gonna give him money? This dude didn't pay his taxes. Like
That's got to be a brutal meeting for whoever. I don't know if they have like GMs or whatever over there or who makes their moves, but like when you got to answer the question, hey, why are we paying 110% of the money we're making to our players?
Yeah.
That's got to be a tough combo.
And 10% in soccer money is a lot of money.
A lot of money.
A lot of
Barca's-
freaking money.
Barca's top 3 most profitable franchises in the world.
Yeah.
That in Real, so that's a
All right.
ton of money.
We'll move to our last one. That's number 1.
That's the number of AFC East quarterbacks over the age of 23. That's Josh Allen. His company, Zach Wilson, Tua Tagovailoa, and then obviously, not obviously because I'm missing the fourth.
You
Josh
say
Wilson,
Zach Wilson,
Tua,
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones. I mean, a bunch of rookies and second years there with Josh Allen.
It's the new guard. I mean, granted, here's the only thing. Like, I was like, wow, this stat shows that there's finally like a new leaf being turned. But like, how many times did this happen? Like, aside from like Tom Brady, like all the quarterbacks were always young because the Bills were bringing in new guys. The Jets always had a new.
Because they always stink. All
Every
teams
3
always
years, the
stink,
Jets had an under 25 guy. Like
Mm.
same with the Dolphins. So I don't know. I think this is finally though. Like every team has a guy who they are confident in for the first time in a long time in the AFC East.
Yeah, it's
Maybe not Miami.
it's the new era.
I don't know about Miami.
I'm
But
not
According to
gonna-
Brian, according to the head coach, they're totally behind Tua, whatever that means.
that means what you're supposed to say as a head coach.
Everyone's totally behind.
Yeah,
like,
he's
like
the
their
quarterback.
draft
We
pick.
have no other choice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
Clifton's
it's definitely
version,
new era.
we're sticking with Rosen before.
Oh
Right.
God,
Never
remember
Right.
Josh Rosen? That's sad.
Sad.
That's,
That's making me sad.
that's just an absolute sad story. But I think Josh Allen is the only quarterback I'm sure of in the AFC East.
Well, he's the only one that's proven.
Yeah.
I would say you can't say you're sure of anyone else. Like,
Zach-
you
I mean-
can't. It's just not enough.
Zach Wilson's allowed to suck for 2 years like Sam Darnold did. So, I mean, he's short for now.
He's on the Jets. I mean,
Tua
you have
kind
a
of is,
scapegoat. If you're on the Jets, you have a scapegoat for sucking. As
Yeah.
long as you're on the Jets.
Hey, the last guy did it. He's a starting
Yeah.
quarterback in Carolina. I mean, let me do it.
No one held this against Sam Darnold either. Like, it was not one person that was like, "Oh, that was Sam Darnold's fault."
Yeah.
It absolutely wasn't. But We're almost out of time for this episode of Straight Facts, the first episode of season 2. And I don't know about y'all, but like I could just feel a different energy. It was great. I love it. But as always, we can end with getting some shots up at the buzzer. Who got something to say at the buzzer?
Big, huge day for me yesterday. Adam Sandler's new movie Hustle.
That's right. I saw.
Shot directly, had to block off our street, literally out my window. And it was really, they were only shooting one scene. And I'm like, oh, Adam Sandler's not here. Who are they shooting? And I'm looking down, trying to see. And the guy looks familiar. I Google the movie. It's Juancho Hernan-Gomez running up my steps and doing the same take 4 times in a row. It's really unfortunate for him because I found out that it was him, and he unfortunately is a Celtic. So he had to get heckled. And he did get heckled. Light heckling, fun heckling. But he got heckled nonetheless, and I told him he was my favorite Celtic, which, fun fact, there is no such thing.
Right,
I wanted to make him feel good.
Who did the casting for that movie? Why is Juancho Hernan-Gomez in this movie?
He's the one who picked up the phone.
Just to give you a brief overview of the movie Hustle, you guys should go see it to see 243 Crams Avenue in it. It is Adam Sandler is a basketball scout. He finds a European prospect. Neither of them can get. He gets fired from his NBA job. They're both trying to get into the NBA together. That's the gist of the movie.
And Juancho is his.
I believe is that.
Now I've heard
a lot of guys didn't pick up the phone. I'll tell you that.
Oh my God.
We got down to Juancho on the list.
Damn near everybody. They're at the back of guys.
He couldn't even get Luca's number.
Yeah, well, who else is there? There's a lot of guys before Juancho. I mean, I'm calling Evan Fournier before I call Juancho Hernan-Gomez. But I did hear that Doc Rivers, Matisse Thybulle, Seth Curry, Tobias Harris, and Tyrese Maxey are all making appearances in the movie.
I think, and
That's dope.
There was a bunch of them running pickup ball with Adam Sandler in Philly, so that would make sense.
That would make sense. All right, who else got something to say at the buzzer?
I'll go. It's football season. We talked a lot of NFL today.
Let's do it.
But I'm all in on those Pitt Panthers. I said it last week. We were given 38. We were one of the biggest favorites on the card to UMass. And that's the games you find out. If you cover that 38, this team's legit. If you don't cover 38 to UMass week 1, you're in trouble. They won 51-7. Kenny Pickett coming back, 5th year. Could have got drafted last year, 7th round. You come back. It was the right move.
Still drafted.
They're a good team, boys. Ready. We're ready. We got Tennessee this weekend. We might not lose to the Clemson game.
Are you going to try and go make it up to those games?
Coastal?
What's up?
Are you going to make it to those games?
I am going to the Clemson game. I already got tickets.
Cool. Yep. That'll be awesome.
October 23rd.
All right, man. Kyle either comes back the happiest dude in the world, or
you can't get mad at losing to Clemson.
It's the experience.
It's if you were 4-3 going in, or if you were 6-1.
If you're undefeated going in, you're going to be tight if they lose. I'm just.
Oh yeah, no, that's facts. This team's good though. I'm hyped again.
Championship game?
Shit, we did it 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
All right. At the buzzer, Matt. What's going on?
Make sure your employer guarantees health insurance.
Oh, no.
Because I got burned.
Oh,
they said after 90 days they'd give me health insurance, and then it turned into, you will pay a portion of it if you sign up yourself.
Boomers will lie to your face about health benefits and then wonder why people are liberal. Wonder why I want universal health care when you straight lie to my face about health insurance. I'm sorry to hear that.
This sounds like there's a backstory, if you don't mind going into it.
They said after 90 days, I'd get health care.
Right.
So after 90 days, I talked to my boss, can I get health care? I was like, well, actually, I've never done this before. Because it's my first, and it's we'll pay 40% if you find something on the exchange. I was like, what?
If you find something for the low,
right.
we're getting
so luckily I was able to sign up on Penny, got that life unique life event kind of thing.
Okay.
So all my health payments for this year are tax deductible.
All right. So
let me tell you what. That happens to me. HR is going to fear the name Jake Galley. Should fear the name Matt Robinson. I would be going ham on their HR.
Yeah, I'm all up in their kitchen.
On their HR, yeah.
They just got an important glass. They got a glass door review.
Boom. Blew up the glass door. Let's go.
All right. What I got to say at the buzzer is I work at Dick's Sporting Goods now, and I'm in the shoe department. Can I tell y'all the amount of disgruntled parents that come in to get last-minute shoes for little Johnny and Susie? School has started now, by the way, and we are still getting, parents in to try and get not only sneakers, football cleats, soccer cleats, field hockey cleats. And I'm looking at these parents like, what have your children been wearing all summer when it's going into these games? Like, now it's game time.
The hoopty Johns. They got the old Johns, and they're like, look, Mom and Dad, I can't do
Yeah,
this.
they got
I've
last
been
year's
there.
cleats.
Oh man.
I've been there.
Yo, we probably all got busy parents in here. We've all been there. But there's this one mom in particular who stood above the rest. And when I tell you, like, the lack of the lack of preparedness was scary. She had 4 kids, 2 twins playing flag football, an older daughter playing field hockey, and an older son playing tackle football. All 4 had practice that night that she came in. It's about 2:30, 3 o'clock. She had not one thing. I mean, from a sock to a cleat to a pad, had nothing. And it's just going around asking me, like, well, if they're going out in the field to play football, like, do they need cleats, or can I just send them out in sneakers? I'm like, no, man.
If you want your son to be decleated, yeah, go ahead.
Like, CTE is real. He need the adequate equipment. So there's 2 messages in here. One, parents, as much as you preach to us, don't wait for the last minute to do stuff. Don't wait for the last minute to do stuff. And 2, for all the busy parents out there who are just a little bit insecure of doing things at the last minute, know that you are not alone. And I promise you, ask Mrs. Gillespie, who was at Dick's Sporting Goods, you are not the worst one. That's all I had to say to the buzzer. But that's all the time we have for this episode of Straight Facts. I can't harp on it enough. First episode of season 2. So get used to seeing us here in Brownstone Media in Pottstown, PA, for those who are joining us on our YouTube. Speaking of joining us on our YouTube, a little plug. Our YouTube is new and revamped, y'all. We got college big boards all up on there. We got Fantasyland going up on there. Stat Mat deep dives going up on there. So along with this episode, go get all of our content. And as always, we're on every podcast platform, as always. For my guys, Jake Galley, Kyle Sarek, and Stat Matt Robinson, I'm James Jackson. These have been the facts.
Straight up.